Here are major things investors look at for before investing in your business. And when I mean investors, not just equity investors, because of course a lot of person when they hear investor, they think they're just equity investors. So of course an investor is bringing an investment into your business, capital. The investment could come in form of capital, it can come in form of of course there are also investments that are not capital investment. They could be investment in cash and kind and all sort, even in equipment, in skills and all of that. So, but then here are some of the things that any form of investor, whether they are impact investors, donor agencies who are giving you grant, equity investors who give you capital in exchange of equity, that's financing companies who would give you loan, and all of that. There are some of the things they look at for before giving you funding or capital or money. One is legal. They want to be sure that your business is legalized, has a legal standing. You have your CAC registration, your company incorporation in Nigeria is CAC. Of course, CAC does the incorporation, so your business is registered as a limited liability company. Very important. A lot of businesses start off as you register as a business name. Yeah, you can start off with that, but incorporate your business as a limited liability company. If you want to raise funding, serious funding, register your business as a limited liability company. That is when they start taking you serious. So they want to look at the legal aspect of your business, the business incorporation. They want to look at the licensing, your compliance. They want to see that, of course, once you register your business, create a separate account for your business, you run records for the business, you set up financials, accounting for the business, you pay tax clearance. So most of these things that most business persons run away from, shy away from, are usually things that qualify you to get most of this funding. There are fundings that you can't access, especially if you're working. If you want to get government contracts or government grant, they'll ask you for tax clearance certificate, and most of you I know run away from paying tax. Yes. The next thing they look out for is your finance. No investor would want to put in money into a business that you're running with your bank account. Yes, your personal bank account. That business does not have a separate bank account. You're running it with your own bank account. You pay staff salary from your account. You build, you do operations with your account. You receive customers' money with your account. No investor will want to put in money, because when they do the investment, it's going inside your account. So they want to be sure that the business has its own legal identity, has its own bank account, has its own operations, has its own processes, separate from the founders, separate from you, separate from every other person, can stand on its own. And they want to look at your books. They want to see that you have bookkeeping, you have record keeping processes, you have all of those things in place. Your accounting, they want to see your dictated report. They want to see your financial statements. They want to see management reports and all of that. The next thing an investor will also look at for is your team. Your team. I will always say this: the quality of your team. Investors fund people, not just ideas. They invest in people. They want to see the quality of your team. So let's say you're building a hardware company. You want to set up an engineering company. That idea is an engineering idea. You want to build a hardware company, and then everyone on your team are software people or accountants, lawyers. You have to get the right team, people with complementary skills. This one has knowledge of strategy, business development. This one is an engineer. This one can do product design, has skills in engineering, 3D printing, all of that. So they want to see, and the reason they want to do this is because the team would drive the business. The team would do the execution, not the idea. The idea will not build itself. The idea will not, even when you have the right structure, sometimes when you have the right structure, and the right strategy, those strategies will not implement themselves. They will not drive themselves. It's the team that will drive the business growth. The next thing that investors also want to see is traction. In one of my videos, I told you, build before you beg. Build before you beg. Very important. Investors want to see traction. I told you, whether it's impact investors, you want to raise grants, you want to get grant, or you want to do equity investment, they want to see traction. They want to see what you've done. They want to see your milestones, your achievement. Even if it is proof of concept, you've done this. That's validation that you started this, you can keep doing this, we've done this. So I tell entrepreneurs, when you build value, when you do these things, do well to document them. Do well to document them. I'll do another video on how to communicate impact, how to build impact and communicate. A lot of you founders are doing a lot, but then you don't know how to communicate this impact. You don't know how to put it together, communicate it. So I'll do a video on that. So you need to learn how to build impact, communicate impact, reports, show these things. So they want to look at this, and most times they go online, they want to look at your digital footprint, what the company has been doing. So traction, they want to see traction. And lastly, yes, governance. Now, governance is not legislature, executive, no. Governance in business refers to processes, structure, board of directors, your executive team, your all of those things. Who is your CEO, your CMO? What are the processes? What is the leadership structure of this business? The CEO reports to the board, who are in the board of directors, the CEO, the CMO, who do you report to? What are the checks and balances? What are the processes? What are the operations? What are the SOPs? The documentation, all of those things. They want to be sure that all of those things are in place. Now, these things you may not figure them all out. I get that part. We've done we've gotten access to some grants. I've applied for some grants, for some funding that they had some requirement that I don't even have. I've not heard of them before. I started developing them. So you work with a lot of agencies, investors, most international organizations have their different requirements. So most time when you want to work with most of them, you put up this processes. So we did a project, ECOWAS and the World Bank, and they had their own processes. They had their policy, the way they want the company policy to look like. They have the way they want the SOPs, everything to look like. We downloaded, we got their frameworks, and we started redesigning. With what we had on the ground already, we started to redesign, to adjust, adapt. So they want to see that these things are in place. So yeah, those are most of the things that investors look out for before putting money into your business. So you want to hear more on those things, you want to learn how to put these things in place, you want to learn how to develop these things. I've curated, list of materials, from templates to guides, that would help you develop this thing. So keep in touch, keep tabs, and follow me for more.